everyone, here we are today at Nonna's Kitchen once again. Welcome back, I hope you're joining us. I was just going to talk to you about that moon last night. Did anybody see that moon? It was totally amazing. It was just like almost a ball. And I was wondering how you're all doing during this quarantine. If any of you want to let me know some of the things you're going through, I would love to hear it. And some happy things you're doing. Some things that you're doing with your kids or with your husband, some things like that. Last night, speaking of that moon, it was so beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So that inspired tonight's wine. So you're gonna laugh about it. It's really good. Lapis Luna, okay? It's a Zinfandel. And look at that bottle. If it was orange and the sky was blue, it would have been last night's sky. I mean, it's totally amazing. So, I just love that. And then the funny thing is, look, even the cork has a little moon on there.
Nice.
I don't know if you could see that.
Can.
So, that's kind of cool.
So Dank is watching. You can say hi.
Who is?
Dank Wilma.
Hi, Dank Wilma. How are you?
Danko.
Danko, sorry. Sometimes I can't see Darren, so I can't always hear her. Today we're going to make Pasta Fagioli, Danko, so I wanted to say hi. And I don't have that light on. Okay, so I'm heating up the pot. I got my meats together. I'm going to go through it tonight with you. Well, this was the onion I half used, a large onion. And I have these little cute jars. I love them. They're like, this is for an onion, the tomato one looks like a tomato, and I like it because I don't forget what I've already cut in half and not used. I'm going to start out with letting you know what the meat is tonight. This is, they're like the Italiano noodles. They're like little barrels because we're making pasta fagioli tonight, Shannon. So I wanted to be doing that for her. This is cannellini beans and kidney beans, not navy beans, cannellini beans. And this is about 2 cans each of like a 15-ounce can.
We have Jeff and Catherine watching.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
And Brooks Hannah is watching.
Hi, Brooke. How are you? And this is chicken stock, 2 cups. And this is, I want to say, I measured it too. This is 24 ounces of plum peeled tomatoes in sauce from Italy. I like the plum tomatoes that come from Italy, but you could use any. And you know, when I'm in a real hurry at times, I've taken Roma tomatoes for like a real quick one on a summer night, and I've cut up the Roma tomatoes real quick and just blister them, and that works too. So, go ahead.
Our Brooke from Nonnas is watching.
Hi, Brooke. I miss you so much. Cheers, honey. Oh, you're not old enough yet. Not yet.
And Dina is watching, and Barb is watching.
Hi, Dina. Hi, Barbara. How are you? How are you doing?
And we have Jane and Justin from Florida.
Hi, Justin. You are so sweet. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that. I loved Ella's reading story today. She did a little reading hour. A little friend Ella. I'll have to hashtag her, and you can see she's doing this reading. It's really awesome that she's doing it. And also I have some fresh basil and some dried basil right here. And then I also have 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. I know, I'm like a garlic fiend. I can't help it. I put garlic in sometimes my eggs. It's a confession that's so true. And this is 3 tablespoons of olive oil, pepper, salt to taste, some plain tomato sauce, and finishing cheese, and the onions. So, I have this heating up, and I just want to tell you one thing before. I don't know if you're noticing I'm wearing this Nonnas shirt. On the bottom, you see it says hashtag,
Spearfish Strong.
Hashtag Spearfish Strong. I didn't know if it was the 605 one. But everything goes to our friend Andy Hoist is doing this, and then what he did is he's making the t-shirts, and he was making them to put out to the communities for businesses that are unfortunately closed right now to help them out so that they could, you know, basically keep $10 from each shirt. And that's a wonderful thing he did. And we said, we want to be a part of this. I am so happy to be a part of this because we are here to be #Spearfish Strong. But we said we want to take it one step further. We're going to give our $10 for every shirt that's bought to the community to feed the community. And I know that little thing where I was looking, that was terrible. But anyway, that's Nonna. Saying also on top of that, if you wear your shirt in for the first time into Nonnas, I'm going to draw a black magic marker right across here, and you're going to get a free glass of house wine. So then I know you've been it. And you know what? Probably I won't do that. Probably just come in, wear it the first time. I'll remember your face. So I just want to go that one step further to encourage you to reach out to our community, because every community all across America, matter of fact, all across the world is really in a bad situation right now. So whatever we can do to make it better or bearable, we're here to do that. So
Yeah, so basically, when they buy a shirt, all the net proceeds between everything Nonna's Kitchen
100%.
does
We have decided
and what EASW does.
ASEW.
EASW.
EASW.
And all the proceeds are
All
going to
the
help
proceeds.
families and businesses in South
So
Dakota.
100% of our proceeds are going to feed families. So try to get in there, join, and then you get a free glass of house wine when you come in. What could be better? And you're helping your neighbors, which we all need some help right now. Mentally, physically. Has anybody done some projects? Okay.
Dina's very excited. She said that's so awesome.
Thank you, Dina.
And she's encouraging everyone to order several shirts and wear a different one each time.
Oh, yeah. And
we could
I
do
am
that.
more
That's
than
good.
happy to, you have a new shirt on, give you another glass of wine. More than happy to do that for my community. Thank you, Dina. I like that. It's a good idea, Dina. I didn't even think of that.
And our Brooke is also saying she's missing you too.
Oh, this is a small too, to help you with sizing. I'm really short, as you know. So this was a dress on me. So I did my old, just tied it up in the back. But I kind of like it that way anyway, because I can let you see what it says. So anyway, this is getting warm, and this is the 3 tablespoons of olive oil that I'm putting into here, so you know. And now I'm going to get that a little bit hot, and of course the first thing that's going to go in is going to be my medium onion. With my ula that I can't help it, I always talk about it, I just love my ula. My husband picked it out for me. He was with our friend Scott, and it was really nice, and they went and got these great ulas, and I can't stop using it.
When we were in Alaska.
That's what I said when we were in Alaska. I didn't say it. Oh, sorry. From Alaska. Darren says I didn't say it. So my meat was already prepared, and as you know, I love just being able to do this fun little thing. So you just chop up this is really easy, moms, and everything pretty much could be can or dry storage. And for this particular time, it's great because these are canned. You don't have to use the dried, or you can just use canned, or you can use the dried. These are canned, they're whole tomatoes. I didn't use my fresh ones. You know, they're Romano shaped, as you can see. And chicken stock, sauce, and your herbs. So, you know, it's a great quarantine, and it's also really great if you just don't feel like cooking, and it's really fast. Have this, a salad, some nice Italian bread, you're all set. And I was going to talk about the pasta today, because you know what I realized? People really don't understand how to salt water. I hear so many people, obviously this was not cooked in this, you just keep it aside. I hear people say say to me all the time, and I'm going to go against what some people say, because it's not the way I've done it in my life. They always say, salt your pasta water like it's the ocean, and put oil in it, olive oil. I have a question for you. Have any of you ever been at the beach? Have you ever swam and got a swallow of salt water? How does that taste? Are you like, oh my God, that's so good? No, you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. Well, the truth is that I always salted my pasta water, so it's salted that I can taste it, but it's still nice. I don't salt it so it tastes like seawater. I don't want that much salt in my pasta. I don't want that much, it's just not a nice taste. I mean, do you really want the salt in your pot? What do you think that's going to do to your pasta? It's going to make it extremely salty. And I don't like that. I mean, I'm very sensitive to too much salt. So has anybody else heard the salt it like the ocean and pour tons of oil in it? I don't believe in that. I don't agree with it. I'm sorry, I know a lot of chefs say it. I'm just talking about personal taste. Besides, health.
So Troy is watching, and Troy says manja.
Manja.
And Jack Webb wants to know if we're thinking of opening a second location in Bell.
Well, Bell's a little bit close. Maybe I'll open a second location, maybe somewhere like Wyoming or Florida, where my grandchildren live. Thank you for that question. But Jeff, we were only open 43 days, and then this hit. So right now, we barely we'll just get this one going, and we'll see how that goes from there, because I was having a ball. And then...
Okay, so Dina is saying she only adds oil to the water. She didn't think the salt added anything to it.
Oh, no.
So is there...
Dina, I love you so much. Your questions are so good. You have to. I would leave out the oil before I would leave out the salt. It's the way you bring out the flavor in the macaroni. And if you don't put salt in your water, you will never feel like there's enough salt on that plate. That sauce will never stick to it. It's totally wrong. So what I'm gonna say, and not wrong, I shouldn't say that, but it's totally you're not gonna pull out the flavor of the macaroni at all. But if you took it and you put salt in it, and like I said, most people say, salt it like an ocean. When is the last time, like I said, you got a big gulp of the ocean, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that again. No, you're like, choking.
So just a little bit of salt?
I don't know how much water you have, but what I'm gonna say is what you're gonna do is you're gonna taste your water, like put a tablespoon in if you're boiling like a good amount, and see if you can taste the salt, but it's not so in the background that you can't taste it barely. You wanna be able to taste it. As you can see the garlic and the onions, they're starting to get really...
Dina says she had no idea, and that's why she's not a chef, and the ocean water is gross. So she agrees.
Exactly, but you will hear a chef say that to you. They'll say, oh, salt it like, and I'm not a chef either. I'm a mom that cooked for a lot of kids and a lot of friends, and Jeff and Susie can attest to that. My house is basically a revolving door 24/7, sometimes for weeks. They might remember that. And now what I'm going to do is, this is the only part I'm going to use a glove for, even at home. That garlic is really going. I'm going to take that fresh basil that's dried out. I'm going to take some seasonings. As you can see, I'm going to put them here. I'm not going to use them quite yet. And then, what I'm going to do is, you see these tomatoes? Can you see how, they're whole? I put a glove on for this because this is what I'm going to do. I'm very lazy when it comes to these easy, simple things. There's no reason for me to get out anything else. I'm just going to pull them out, break them in, and crush the tomatoes like that. There's no reason for me to sit there and get squirted and get all the tomato sauce all over me. And sometimes I do this. It's not hot enough yet to worry about it, so I just dump them in, squeeze them. Sometimes you'll have to go back through. I know this this is a weird thing for you, but this is the way I do it. It's the way I've always done it. I had 2 boys that were extremely active. There wasn't a lot of time for like fussing. So now you got this base. It's cooking really nice. I'm gonna show it to you as soon as I feel like it's broken up enough. And like, see, you can see, like, see that? Look, I'm just gonna do that. That's all. And then, the great part that is, like I said, remember, if you have fresh Roma tomatoes, cut them up, leave the skins on, blister them in there with the garlic and the onions. It's fantastic. Take these seasonings that I blended in here. And then we're going to take some pepper for taste, some salt. And the reason I want to do this in this order, because people don't think order is important. I could give 3 people the same recipe and they'll all taste different and they'll say why. Well, maybe you didn't braise your onions enough. Maybe you didn't, let the garlic get translucent in the onions. So there is a reason. I want this sauce, as you can see. Can you see that?
Tilt it a little bit more. Yep, we can see it now.
Can you see? I want that sauce to start cooking a little bit. I want it to start cooking down, cooking out, getting molded with it. I don't want to dilute it yet with the,
Okay, Gary Latin wants to know if you could use stewed tomatoes.
You could. They have a little bit more of a, the name kind of like, you could use them 100%. Just maybe add a little more garlic, because stewed tomatoes definitely have, like, if I make a roast, I use them or something. They just have a little bit more of a true stewed, and lower that now down so it doesn't splatter on you. True stewed tomato has, I feel like it's more of like something I use for making a homemade stew or something like that. But you could do it, just add a little bit more of your spices, because you're gonna want to like give it that pep, because the Romano tomatoes are what gives it to it. And I'm also gonna add 2 cups of, well, that's really 1.5 cups, I'm sorry. 1.5 cups of the just plain tomato sauce. Just plain. Like, when you get your tomatoes from your garden or from a can that it just says sauce, not a flavored sauce. I'm not talking about Progresso. I'm not talking about, jarred sauce. I know they're good, but you just need a plain sauce for this. So now what I'm gonna do is, this is the now you see how fast this went? Starting to boil. If you feel like you really are hungry and you gotta eat it really fast and you wanna cheat, I'll be right back. Because your family's hungry and you just came from soccer and you just came from this, throw a pinch of sugar in. It's not something I normally do, but do it if you're gonna cook this fast like I am right now.
What does the sugar do?
The sugar takes the acidity out of the tomatoes. So salt brings out the tomatoes, but the sugar plays down that real deep acidity. I don't normally put sugar in it. I'm just telling you, if you're gonna make it this fast, I don't wanna like mess you up. I'm not one of those, like, I don't know if everybody's seen Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm not Maria, I don't leave the thing out. Like, oh, Deborah, how is that so bad? I don't do that to you. So with that,
Mary Fitzgerald says she loves to watch your segments.
thank you, Mary. So cooking this up, I'm gonna let it cook. So let me know, I just gotta let it simmer a little bit, guys. It's not gonna take long. We only have 2 more steps till yum yum.
Jeff is saying that your kitchen at home never closed.
Yes, when my boys were young, it was open 24/7, literally. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 in the morning. They never thought I slept.
It's a good time to ask questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Are any of you, have you decided to like quarantine with family? Like, has any immediate family come to you? Are you quarantining more than just your family? Have you brought grandma in? Have you brought, everybody in to quarantine together?
Okay, Jeff has a good question.
Yes?
He wants to know, do you ever put sugar on your sauce?
Absolutely not. I have never heard of that. Only one time from one person, and I thought it was absolutely disgusting. Evidently, they grew up in a family that didn't know how to cook it out. So you know what I do? When I'm cooking a marinara sauce or like something like this, I can cook it out quickly because it's not that much. But with the marinara sauce, you know what I add to my marinara sauce? You're going to kind of laugh. A carrot. If you simmer it all day with the carrot and then take that carrot out, it will put the sweetness from the carrot out into the sauce. It's
Very interesting.
and it's better than using sugar. So I don't know if anybody knew about that little weird thing also. So now you can see how that's bubbling and it's getting there. You see how it's kind of thick? Should be probably a little bit thinner, but that's what we're going to use this for. Here's my chicken stock, which immediately made it that way. Now when you do the Catalina beans and the kidney beans, it's with the sauce. Not sauce, I'm sorry. The juices from the can. That's a problem. I didn't mean it that way. Yes, so that's what it is. It's like you're gonna use those juices will actually thicken it. Like, it's so awesome because I just love what they do to it. Now, this ratio is pretty good. Can you say you're gonna get sauce, you're gonna get beans, and you're gonna cook that baby up. Now, believe it or not, I'm just gonna let this simmer a minute or so. And I'm still waiting. What do you guys want to learn? I was thinking of doing chicken cacciatore. How do you feel about that? Chicken piccata. I could do some of the sides. I could show you how to do a nice cauliflower that I do that's really simple and fun. Today I was talking to my friend Susie, and she had a cabbage, and she said, I don't know what to do with it. And I said, oh, just make the Italian steaks out of it. I could show you how to do that. You take a cabbage and you make cabbage steaks out of it. It's so delicious. So let me know. I want to know.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, it's a good time to ask it.
Like I'm 4'9", I told you. My hair's naturally black. I did this during quarantine because I'm crazy. Dina, you have your family home, don't you? You have your kids, you have your daughter and your son home. That must be actually wonderful. It's a nice thing to have. The other night we had a lot of friends. We had our friends from Curacao, and that was wonderful. And after we got done, we talked to them about an hour and a half, and it was so nice to get together with them. I just was so ecstatic.
Ashley is saying she has some cabbage growing in her garden. So maybe the cabbage steaks would be good.
Oh my goodness, Ashley. Cabbage steaks, I'm telling you. I can eat them all the time. And Ashley, I saw your garden on the other day when you sent me a picture. I was like, my gosh, her garden. She lives in Florida, of course, so she doesn't have as many problems. But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I saw this really good hack. I don't know if any of you saw this. It was really cool. Yesterday I was watching, they took a pot, like a small planter, and had some growing soil on it. And then they took tomatoes and they sliced them like probably about this thin. And after they did that, they sliced tomatoes like literally about, just tomato slices. Then they put them in a circle, and then they put more potting soil on it, added water, and I think it was like a week and a half, they had little sprouts coming up from all the seeds that were in the tomatoes. We got to get inventive, guys, That's really cool.
Okay.
Now,
So Dina is saying it is nice having everyone home. She's not used to cooking this much. And Harrison Armstrong has a very good question.
yes.
he says chicken piccata, so he wants you to make that.
Okay, that's next.
And he says, I love your videos, and are you going to post any more recipes?
Oh my goodness. I so have dropped the ball on this. So what I'm gonna do after I hang up. After I'm done, I'm gonna post the two that I'm behind and this one, and I'm gonna leave them up only until not tomorrow, but then when I do my other one the next day. And I am so sorry. I have to be honest with you. I've been doing paperwork and a little bit crazy with doing some things that we have to get done, and I keep forgetting, and that's not a good excuse, as I said the last time.
He also wants to know if you use thyme in any of your recipes.
Yeah, I do, actually. The other night when I made the potatoes, the garlic roasted tomatoes, there's thyme in there, and I actually love rosemary and thyme together on roasted garlic potatoes. I mean, I use it also when I do a rotisserie chicken. You know, I use it in a lot of things. You'd be surprised. I use some strange things in a lot of my recipes that people wouldn't realize. Sometimes when I'm making my sauce and certain things, I have some secret ingredients that I add, and it's funny because both of my boys know how to make it, and both of them used it when they were dating and with their prospective wives now. So I feel like my sauce brought them together. And I was told you the other day, I have a son, Darren, but I have a son, Matthew, and Bobby Jean, and he's married to Bobby Jean, and my 3 grandchildren, Trig, Hardy, and Justice. And they are so wonderful. And my son had an accident about 4 years ago. And if you ever want to read about it, it was a life-changing thing for our entire family. And it's called
Beyond the Burn.
Beyond the Burn.
.life.
And his name is Matt Manzari. And it really, not because he's my son, it really is a miracle story. And I am so blessed to have him still with us. So now he travels all over the world and helps with the vets and all kinds of people. My other son does great things too, and he has the most fantastic wife also, and her name is Maureen, and I love my Mo. So just wanted to give a shout out to both families.
Ashley is saying that she thinks that Nonna's Kitchen cookbook should be next.
Oh my, Ashley, I can't even get the recipes up on time, but I think you're right, and I would love to do one. I would love my son Darren to do the photography for it, because he's so good at that. And you're right, Ashley, and I know what you're doing. Trying to make me make that commitment, because you know once I do, I have to.
And Megan Schoon says that she misses Nonna's Kitchen and that Sierra really misses work with us. And she hopes we're all well.
I miss you too, Sierra. And what was the other lady's name?
Megan.
Megan, hi.
That's her mom.
Oh, I miss all of you. And so now I'm going to show you our next. Let me grab my ball. Be right back.
The cookbook.
What?
Harrison seconds the cookbook.
Okay, let's get it going, Harrison. I'll do it. I'm in. I say I'm in. I'm going to tell you one thing. Pasta Fazool is like the most fantastic dish to make for quarantine. You know why? I never want you to put these noodles into the soup. And you know why? Because tomorrow, this soup will have no broth. So I always boil my noodles al dente and put olive oil in them. Just a little. Don't drown them in oil. People tend to be like, no. It's like, stir them. And then I put them in a baggie when we're done. Because what I do is I get the soup hot, even when I reheat it for tomorrow, and then I put the noodles at the bottom. Don't even heat them up, just take them out so they get room temperature. I put the noodles at the bottom, and then I pour the hot soup over it, cheese, parsley, done.
Okay, so a couple more questions here.
Yeah?
Gary Lanton wants to know, but will you give away some of your secrets in the book?
Oh, Gary, I guess I could. I'll have to pick and choose. And You see, the problem is I made my entire staff sign a non-disclosure. I'm breaking my own non-disclosure. I actually had one of my staff, one of my team members actually, call me and say, Nancy, don't give away all our recipes. I said, these aren't even on the menu.
You know, one thing you could talk about too is that, you know, while the food, we hope everyone's loving the food at Nonna's Kitchen, it's not just about the food. Nonna's Kitchen is all about the experience when you come there and sharing dinner with us. So maybe you could talk about that.
And honestly, that's why my slogan, you'll see, I can't wait to have you over for dinner, is because my vision of having a restaurant literally was, everybody who knows me personally knows I love a party. I start cooking, and before I know it, it's like I black out. I have all this food, and I look at my husband and I say, call everybody, tell them to come for dinner. I have too much food. I like spontaneous parties. I'm more of a person who just loves to do what's happening right at the moment. And I felt like cooking, I had a lot of stuff to use, I made a lot of food. Everybody come on over, and they're like, what can I bring? I'm like, nothing. Just bring yourself, because for the love of God, I have too much food. So that's ready. And so now what I'm gonna do is, what did I do with it? Oh, see, I did a little cookie.
And Kelly is on from Beautify Spearfish, and she says, we can't wait till we're all back to normal, and she hopes we're staying well.
Okay, you know what I think? Thank you so much for bringing that up. I think we are all going to get back to normal, but I don't think it's going to be quote unquote normal. What I'm hoping is our families get closer, we reach out to our neighbors, we think about our friends, we call some people that we haven't called in a long time. We get closer to our children, we get closer to our friends, because we're having real conversations. Because let's be honest, we're not just in the car driving home from work and gonna pull up and have to deal with everything that we do when we get in there. So that's what my hope is. That's the new future, that humanity becomes better.
And you can say thank you to Megan, Megan Schoon. She says, it absolutely feels like home, and we love that you both come to the table and visit us at the table. It's such a personal touch.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I always, like, you know me, I'm a little bit of, as they say in Italian, a cacchione. I never stop talking, you know? My husband would be like, honey, they're on a date. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'm so sorry, I have to leave. And I do. But I usually send you over some cake if it's an anniversary or birthday. Because that's what moms do, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn this down to simmer. Remember, your oiled noodles are going to go in a Ziploc bag. You're going to cool your soup. And I don't know if any of you know this. It is really dangerous. And I'm really serious. The last thing you need to do during quarantine is get sick. You need to cool your soup down. You need to cool your food down before you put it in the refrigerator. And if you absolutely have to put it down and it's not cool enough, okay? First thing you can try is you put ice cubes in a Ziploc and you put them in the food you're trying to cool down and move it around. We have ice paddles at restaurants. But trust me, that would work. And then what I want you to do is I want you to, on top of that, if you have to put it in the refrigerator, the proper storage is to leave it open until it's completely cool. Leave air getting to it. You will get very sick. Because when the temperature gets to the point where you start seeing condensation with the lid on it, like for turkey or any of that, everybody's like, oh, turkey makes me sleepy, then I got a sick stomach. No, you got food poisoning. Just a little FYI. So I just put this together. I let it cool a little because I didn't want to do the old burn your mouth. This is Romano cheese. It's very important you top it with this. Oh, my husband would say, oh, look how much that is, but it is. And usually I would top it with some parsley, but I have to tell you I'm really sad I ran out of my fresh parsley. So if there's any other questions, I'd love to answer them.
Well, Kelly and Nicole are both saying that they also love the experience at Nonna's when you come to the table. So a lot of people are commenting on that.
I love you guys. I'm really missing you. I want to feel like I'm having family for dinner, And the more I get to know the community, the more I feel like when I see them, like, oh my gosh, like Mike Tripp and Heather Tripp, when they come in every Wednesday is Friends Day. They come in, and I love it. And I look forward to people. And if I don't see them, I start thinking about them. And then maybe I'll even post them like a nagging, mother. Are you okay? Is everything all right? So, anyway, this is what it looks like when it's all finished. That's Pasta Fagioli. It's a very chunky, hearty soup. And Pasta Fagioli is beans and macaroni. So, you put the Romano cheese, and like I said, it's a little prettier normally with the parsley on it, but.
And Tate said he loves your shirt.
I'm rocking that Nonna's shirt. Okay, that's really good, even though look how quick we made it. I know it doesn't seem like quick, but that's quick for a meal. And trust me, if you're a family, think about this. Made all these beans and all this sauce and tomatoes and beans, and they're gonna be full. Give them a salad, give them some bread. You're done, Mom. Freeze this sauce. Next time you're tired, just boil a little bit of that macaroni and throw it in there. And you know what? Let's be honest. If you don't have your Italiano noodles, use elbow. It wouldn't feel like Pasta Fagioli to me, but it would still work. So don't go crazy. Remember, we're in lockdown and we're in quarantine. And I just want to say that I'm so thankful that all of you tune in when you do, because quite frankly, it's a way for me to feel like I'm actually having a conversation with people. And we all know me, I need to have a conversation with people. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.